Good morning. Magandang umaga po. I'd like to talk today about whether or not I will still recommend Philippines as a destination place for retirement. There has been a lot of things going on in the recent past that makes me think twice about retirement in the Philippines. That is what we will discuss. Stay with me. In the beginning, it was clear to me that Philippines is a good retirement place. It still is. It still is. But there are things happening in the recent past that are making me question whether it still is a good place for retirement. And that has something to do with politics. I never got involved in politics, not even in the United States. I hate politics. I don't like politics. But why am I getting dragged into it? Because it affects my retirement. I'm only there to stay in peace, enjoy the country, rekindle what I missed in the past, and now I cannot do it. Now it appears that I may not be able to do it, not only because of the pandemic, but for some other things that I'm beginning to see. And for that reason, I'm thinking twice. Now, does it mean I hate the country? Of course not. Of course not. I love the country. I love the Filipinos. I love the Philippine culture, especially the Philippine food. And I like the beaches, which I have not seen much of. And that's the reason why I want to explore the island. Now, why am I thinking, gee, maybe it's not a good retirement place after all? For example, if you will tell me that Philippines is going to become like communist China or be owned by communist China, guaranteed I'll just abandon the country and that's it. That's it. No ifs or buts. But I don't believe that is the case. We have had bad presidents in the past. We got rid of them. We had bad, like the Spaniards before. We got rid of them. Japanese, Americans, whoever. We are an independent country, and that's how I'd like it to be. Now, if I see that there is getting to be a change from that position, obviously, I will change my mind. But again, I still believe the country is really good. It's just that we have some bad people at the top. At the top. Now, some people will say to me, or have said to me, well, gee, if you're not happy with the Philippines, don't bash the Philippines and just stay where you are, stay out of the country. That's not fair. That's not right. After all, I never left the country and left the Philippines. My heart still belongs to the Philippines. I still consider myself a Filipino. A Filipino. Until it's proven otherwise, I will continue to be a Filipino. Why am I in the United States? Well, to further my career, and I succeeded in doing that. Some people say, oh, you're just lucky. There's always an element of luck, but it's not pure luck. Believe it or not. What do you consider luck? Winning the lottery? Yeah. But you still have to go through the effort of lifting your finger and buying a lottery ticket before you get lucky. So there are things I had to do and work hard at in order to find that luck. So people who say that are just envious. And I don't blame you. I'll probably be envious too. But I will not go to the extent of saying to somebody, you're just lucky. Get out of here. Stay there. That's not right. Now, take a look at your national hero. Our national hero, Jose Rizal. Did he leave the country? Of course he did. Did he go to Spain? Of course he did. But in spite of that, he never lost of the fact that he is a Filipino, he is an activist, and fought the Spaniards with all his might. Some of you say, well, this is how it is in the Philippines. Corruption has been here since the Spanish time and all. So learn to live with it. Let me tell you, I was only 20 years old when I tried to bribe the Bureau of Internal Revenue. I was learning the process. Remember, I'm an accountant. So I know early on how to live with corruption. But when you are corrupting somebody for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 pesos, maybe even 10,000 pesos, that's one thing. But when you're corrupting the country in the billions of pesos, that's a different story. So there's always a limit to everything. You know what they say? Minor things I can forgive, but there are things I cannot forgive. Everything depends on the magnitude of the offense. So this kind of corruption, I cannot just close my eyes and say, I learned how to accept it because that's how it is in the Philippines. No. Small corruption. I'll tell you another story. I was in Mexico. I lived there for 5 years, almost lived there for 5 years. And my driver was stopped on a traffic violation. And I was saying, no, don't drive the cop. But guess what? The president of my company said, well, you know what it takes, Danny, if you don't bribe the cop? They will have to confiscate the driver's license, and you will have to wait for weeks and fight it in court. You have to hire a lawyer to get that thing done, get your license back. I said, really? Well, how much is the bribery? He said, $10. That's it, $10. So if the government is not going to make it easy for the people to comply, they are complicit in encouraging bribery. What did I say? Pay him off. Pay him off. What's $10? Yeah, it is bribery. Yeah, it is not good. But if you want to do good, you want to do the right thing, it's impossible. So if the government is not giving you the way to comply, then you are forced to take the other choice. That's my view. But if you tell me, it's like in the United States, all you have to do is to write a check and send it in the mail, and they don't confiscate your license, of course I would rather do that than bribe the cop. So things depend on how serious the situation is. Now, some people say to me, what can we do? We're not senators, we're not congressmen, that is. So we can do anything to correct these things. Yeah, there's something you can do to correct this thing. Election. That's when you write your piece with the people who's going to run the government. So exercise your right to vote. Some people are scared to voice their opinion, and I can understand that. You don't want to get into trouble, but do the best you can to participate in discussions, in the election, in the polling places. Now, there's a lot of poll going out that BBM is ahead by a huge magnitude. And I mean huge, almost fake. But I don't know if it is or not. And although I'm planning to make my own survey, I wanted to wait until November 15th when the slate of candidates are complete and final. But people are encouraging me to do the survey now. So, tomorrow I will release a survey. This survey is going to focus not only on people outside of the Philippines, but more importantly, people who are in the Philippines. 20% of my viewers are in the Philippines, 80% outside the Philippines. So I would encourage those, I will appreciate it if the people outside the Philippines send it to their friends, relatives, associates in the Philippines, so I will get more responses from the Philippines. And people in the Philippines, feel free to respond. Nobody will know your answer. Nobody will know your answer. It will be strictly here. I will post the result of the survey. No names mentioned, just the result. Who is winning where, and where is the vote coming from, by age, by whether they're in the US or in the Philippines, or not in the US, but overseas or in the Philippines, whether they're from Davao, from Visayas, Mindanao, Luzon, and stuff like that. Unlike what you see on YouTube, the other creators just have this blackboard asking people on the street, like for example in the Visoria, say, who are you going to vote for? And then they write down. Now, sometimes you cannot tell, including my survey, if I am trying to influence it or not, okay? But I will not. I will not influence it. It is what it is. Whatever I get is what I'm going to publish. Now, I'll be asking for email addresses for purposes of making sure that you only vote once. And I don't know. We will see who is really the candidate that is ideal for this country. Now, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I will release another vlog, and I'll appreciate it if you respond to it, and also if you send it to your contacts in the Philippines to get maximum traction. And I will present the result in a vlog within about a week, just to give it time for me to accumulate enough responses. And for those people who will be looking at all these surveys, including mine, take the survey as good informational thing. It's good to know, oh gee, he's going to win. But at the end of the day, when you vote for who you really feel should be in that position. The reason is, the survey could be biased, influenced, advertently or inadvertently, by multiple factors. So don't rely on that. Don't say, oh gee, just because Lenny Robredo is winning, she I'm going to vote. Or as the surveys show, BBM is by a wide margin going to win. That's he who I'm going to vote. Please don't do that. Exercise your own independent election choice. Now, I'm hoping that there is not going to be any cheating, like what happened in the United States. I think because it's Philippines, is also using Smartmatic and Dominion machine and stuff like that. If that happens, none of this, your vote or this poll, is meaningless. That's the thing we have to be very careful about. I don't know what we can do to control that. It's up for the people in government to try to control that in a positive way, not in a negative way. So, why am I getting involved here in politics? Well, you know what? It affects me. It affects you. It affects everybody. For example, if Philippines is now owned by China, or eventually owned by China, will I want to be in the Philippines? Of course not. Will I want to fight for the Philippines? Of course. But is Philippines going to fight with me? That's the big question. If the Philippines accept, if the Philippines continue to vote, yeah, I'll vote for this, yeah, I want to be a communist country, well, who am I to influence that? I'll be out of there. I will exercise my own vote. I'm glad I have a choice of being out or being in. So, that's all I have for today. Again, I would encourage you when you see the poll tomorrow to please spread it out as quickly as you can, because I'll give it about a week to be exposed, and then I will try to summarize the result, and I will post the result with no identification whatsoever as to who it is coming from. And trolls, I'll appreciate it if you don't mess this thing up. I know you're getting paid by somebody, some politicians there, to influence the election, but you're not doing a good thing for your country. I know you're getting paid. It's like stealing money. When you're getting paid for something that is not legal, something that is not moral, it's not good. So I'll appreciate it if you try to tone that down Better yet is try to get out of that trolling place. So, thank you very much, and I'll appreciate it if you can share this with other people, your contacts, especially in the Philippines, US also. And I'll appreciate it if you click like, and do subscribe to my channel unless you have already done so. And please click the notification bell. Thank you again. Good luck. Make it a great day, and God bless.